So a life event is usually an important event in a citizen's life that requires them to access one or more government services, either to notify the government or get them involved in that event. So for example, it could be you've just given birth, you just got unemployed, you're moving abroad so you need a visa, or you're moving house. So all of these are life events.
The citizen knows the service they're trying to avail, and they know which life event they're experiencing. And so if you are organizing it based on their needs, they're more likely to know where to find it and are likely to engage with it.
What we're trying to do is transform the citizen experience. And the core idea is, as a citizen, I should have to only report a life event once and have the government do that job of then sharing that data across departments to service my needs. So we're trying to simplify the experience, save time for citizens, reduce the number of interactions that they need to have with the government. And there's also an opportunity over time to use that data that we're collecting on citizens to create a sort of rich profile or picture of that citizen's need, so we can anticipate them rather than just service it.
To organize a life events approach, it's really about two steps. First of all, it's around the citizen experience. It's around building the user interface that is accessible, that is easy to understand, and to be able to understand all the information you need to have in that very moment when something happens in life. Secondly, it's about how the government needs to organize itself. So it's around data sharing, it's around data governance, it's around moving the right data at the right moment to another part of government. It's around providing one ID for their citizens so they can understand who's that citizen that actually is accessing the service. And that needs to happen in the back end.
And by doing that, you're essentially cutting costs through economy of scale, through automation, and also by being able to reuse common engineering and design patterns and components.
It is about setting a North Star and then having very clear incremental steps that can allow governments to take those directional changes and eventually get to that point. And that's why I think governments need to not think this is too difficult and make the leap. And there are some very good examples across the world where different governments have solved for different aspects of it and are quite advanced.
So when it comes to initiatives, there was one that was run by the UK government called Tell Us Once, where they realigned their services so that someone going through bereavement only has to tell the government once that their loved one has died, instead of previously where they had to say it over 6 times, I think it was on average, which, as you can imagine, is really painful for citizens.
In Finland, they're implementing a life events approach, which uses AI. It's called Aurora AI. And essentially what they want to do is, rather than providing the services in the right moment for their citizens by just kind of guessing what their needs are in that moment, they're using AI to predict what their needs would be in 5 years.
There's a case to start now. And we don't have to start big, we can start small with this. You just have to take a life event, create a digital front door, get citizens engaged with it, collect data, and then through that is how you expand that approach into an ecosystem of services that are integrated into life event. So test it on a small proof of concept first and then expand it.